I'm crossing my fingers that Mary's latest flame turns out to be Mr. Right, and not just Mr. Right now. She's all smiles these days, and you love to see it. But let's face it, when you're floating on cloud nine, it's easy to miss the storm clouds brewing on the horizon. Early days yet to predict the weather pattern of this romance, but it doesn't hurt to pack an umbrella just in case. Word on the street is her new guy has tied the knot a whooping 4 times, each trip down the aisle shorter than a sitcom season. And didn't I hear a whisper about him only copping to 3 of these? That's a red flag, the size of a circus tent, my friends. Plus, there's that little episode of him and ex-wife Shannon hitting a financial iceberg. Sure, we've all had our rainy days, but when you start to see a pattern, you gotta wonder if it might flood. Now, I'm not saying love after divorce is a no-go, but let's be real. The stats aren't exactly playing Cupid after the fourth I do. So here's my unsolicited 2 cents for Mary. Not that she knows me from Adam. 1. Never walk down that aisle without a bulletproof prenup. And 2. Do a little digging into what the Exes Club has to say. If one or two spill some bitter tea, maybe take it with a grain of salt. But if all four sing the same tune of caution, that's not just a red flag, that's a full-blown parade. Here's to hoping Mary finds her fairy tale ending and dodges any more frogs after dealing with the likes of Cody, the charlatan, and that catfish escapade. Cheers to brighter days ahead. Well, it turns out Mary and Cody themselves had a bit of a financial fumble back in 2005, taking the bankruptcy plunge. So maybe she's not in the best position to wave the red flag when it comes to money mishaps. Looks like they both know how to dance the debt tango. Honestly, the whole situation reeks of a sham, showcasing exactly why polygamy isn't on the books in most places. It often leaves women juggling a kiddie carousal they can't afford. But let's be clear. The four financial faceplants of the Brown clan seem to play in a different league than this guy and his better half. Today's world, it's a wild ride. Skipping bills like they're hopscotch, no sweat off anyone's back, apparently. It's always someone else's circus, someone else's monkeys. Bankruptcy ought to be your parachute for a fresh start, not your go-to travel ticket. And the Browns, multiplying kids and partners like they're collecting trading cards, while Christine's counting pennies for groceries, that's not just messy, it's a full-blown circus act. I'm with you on the whole bankruptcy as a safety net, not a hammock idea. But let's be real. Mary and her extended troop weren't exactly poster children for financial prudence either. If my memory serves me right, in the polygamy playbook, they call this little strategy bleeding the beast. It's like a masterclass in loophole gymnastics aiming to outsmart the law along with local and federal treasure chests. We're talking about declaring bankruptcy like it's going out of style, snatching up food stamps and collecting government goodies under the guise of solo mamas. It's less about playing the game and more about rewriting the rulebook. While there's a grain of truth in all of this, it's high time we tip our hats and let these ladies call their own shots. Mary's hit the big 5-0. A full-fledged, grown-up, ready and more than capable to steer her own ship with wisdom on board. Let's just let her bask in the joy of fun and finally getting some quality time under the sheets. I mean, it's a safe bet that Cody wasn't exactly setting the world on fire in the romance department, right? Chances are the last decade for her was more snooze fest than sizzle. Well, Mary's compass of judgment has taken her on a wild ride, hasn't it? From anchoring herself in a romance that was more Sahara Desert than steamy to rolling out the red carpet for Robin, which turned into a bit of a soap opera twist. Then she got tangled in a web of oversharing with Robin, leaving her on a solo journey through the COVID wilderness, and somehow ended up on a rocky path with Janelle and Christine, not to mention the kiddo kerfuffle. Mary's got that sweet charm, but she's been a bit like a leaf in the wind, easily swayed and a tad too trusting. Here's to hoping she's been doubling down on her soul gym sessions, beefing up that judgment muscle and mastering the art of top-notch choices. We're all sitting with popcorn in hand, waiting to see how her next chapter unfolds, though keeping one eyebrow raised, just in case. As for the spotlight life, it sure turns you into a magnet for all sorts, with the good, the bad, and the crafty lining up for a seat. Our Meri, a star in her own reality saga, might just attract a plot twist or two. And Mr. Woolley seems like a decent chap, but when his kin seems to have gone on a Christine tracking mission, it raises a few brows, doesn't it? The idea of love playing matchmaker via fan mail is more quirky rom-com than happily ever after. But hey, let's wrap this up with a sparkle of hope and a sprinkle of laughter. May Meri's next love leap be more Prince, less Frog, and her judgment sharper than a reality TV editor's cut. After all, in the grand sitcom of life, aren't we all rooting for that laugh track-worthy happy ending? Oh, the naivety is strong with this one. It's a head-scratcher how she managed to squeeze in Dating 101 between all the drama. But hey, I'm no expert in the art of rebound. But you know what? Let's roll out the red carpet for her choices, questionable or not. She's got the driver's seat in this roller coaster of life, even if some of us are watching through our fingers. Here's to Meri. May she be a quick study in love's tricky lessons and dodge any heartache hiding in the bushes. We're all here, fingers crossed, popcorn at the ready, waiting to see how this tale unfolds. Let the chips fall where they may. Has Meri officially declared her dating manifesto? Because if she's on a mission for casual flings and feel-good vibes, then more power to her. Yet the spotlight's been shining pretty brightly on this one gent since October, hinting that in her playbook, he's more main character than cameo. And truly, Meri should be painting the town red, sampling the dating smorgasbord, and embracing the joy of no-strings-attached encounters. In fact, it's a script every woman deserves to star in for a season or two. No long-term contracts, just a free-spirited exploration of life's buffet. It seems like folks are cheering Christine on, rallying behind her new romantic chapter, chanting that she's got the wisdom to know her heart's desire, especially post-Cody saga. But when it comes to Meri, the crowd's tune changes to cautionary whispers and watch your step advice. Dare to drop a hint of concern about Christine's love leap, and you're practically booed off the internet stage. I mean, Meri's stepping into the dating arena for what seems like round 3, post-catfish Sam drama. So she's not exactly a newbie compared to Christine, right? Fingers crossed. Post-wedding episodes, we can bid farewell to the mandatory Yes Queen Girl Boss fanfare. Honestly, I'm here for the roller coaster of decisions, not for the cheerleading squad. I'm all for them finding their bliss, solo or duo, but please, can we take a break from the endless multi-level marketing schemes? Truth be told, I'm not exactly handing out gold stars to any of them. They raise their kids in a pretty intense environment. All the kids ending up being parentified. And then, when it suited them, they made their exit. At this point, it's the kids and grandkids whose journeys tug at my heartstrings. A lot of them are putting in the work to chart a new course. And as someone who's navigated similar waters, I can't help but nod in recognition. Christine, on the other hand, doesn't seem too hesitant to introduce a new man into the mix. Despite the brief timeline and her daughter's unique living situation, that said, at least Meri's latest escapades aren't stirring the family pot in quite the same way. Christine's leap into marriage had more hop than thought, didn't it? No real rush there. They were already cohabiting, so why not enjoy the test drive a bit longer? The whole scenario gives off stranger vibes than Meri's casual dating scene. The way David and his daughter orchestrated the whole meet cute seemed more like a strategic chess move than a spontaneous romance. It's almost like they cast a net tailored just for Christine, and there's this niggling worry that David might just be playing his role a bit too well. Fingers crossed that Christine maintains her essence and doesn't fade into the backdrop of another's storyline. Mary's beau might have hit the jackpot if he had a tech-savvy daughter to fine-tune his dating profile too, right? And yeah, I'm on the same page. There's this nagging worry that Meri too might get caught up in chasing her own knight in shining armor narrative, mirroring Christine's storybook romance quest. These ladies have a pretty unique take on love and marriage, to put it mildly. Their kids, though, seem to be cherry-picking the healthier relationship bits for their own journeys, which is a relief. So here's the playbook for Meri. Embrace the fun, keep things breezy, guard that wallet, and indulge in that turkey, metaphorical or otherwise. But oh boy, the level of involvement some fans have with the Browns is next level intense. Imagine a Brown family update going like, met this great guy, feeling happy, and the fan base morphs into a full-blown detective agency. Hold up! We've snagged his financial history, ran a gazillion background checks, and oh, we've practically set up camp outside his ex's places. Red alert, Meri! Abort mission on the walk down the aisle. Let's face it, none of us were a fly on the wall during Meri's romantic escapades and the nitty-gritty of their heart-to-hearts. That's their jam, not ours. Playing professor on matters of her heart? Not our gig, especially when she's got her own squad for that. She's weathered enough life storms to navigate her own ship. So how about we dial back the detective work and simply embrace the snippets she's generous enough to share? And honestly, sometimes being a Sister Wife fan feels a tad awkward when the fandom's dial is set to ultra-intrusive. Let's switch off the stalker mode, shall we? And hey, if Amos morphs into a moonlit werewolf, he'll still be leagues ahead of her last love debacle. Let's just watch the drama unfold, popcorn in hand, and keep the unsolicited advice on the down low, shall we? Mary's in the groove of dating and savoring the moment. No wedding bells chiming just yet. She's soaking up life's joys, and I'm all in for this chapter of her story. Christine, on the flip side, was speed dialing realtors and stamping wedding invites in what felt like a blink. There's chatter, they crossed paths way before the official timeline, leading Christine to make a swift exit from her old haunts faster than you can say speedy getaway. Mary's romance going public seems like a bit of a forced hand. What with tabloid hawks and fan detectives already piecing together the puzzle? Snapshots and whispers were already doing the rounds, setting the stage for those gossip mills to crank up their engines. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not about the put a ring on it rush after mere months of courtship. If Meri starts mirroring Christine's whirlwind, my worry meter might tick up a notch. Still, I'd be cheering her on, just like I do for Christine, hoping her pal Jen is there to keep things real with her. For now, it's all about Mary's radiant grin and her joyride through life. Big-time companies and the high flyers of the world seem to treat bankruptcies like a routine oil change. And since they keep their pockets lined, it's all just business as usual. Maybe it's time the everyday Joe and Jane took a leaf out of the mega-rich playbook. Instead of buying into the guilt trip sold to us every time we reach for the same financial life rafts that the elite navigate with ease, let's not get played by the narrative. It's a game the big players know all too well. Let's not forget, Mary's got a sharp mind and a knack for savvy moves. Plus, she's her ace in the hole BFF, Jen, dishing out wisdom like a pro. But considering the decade plus she spent in limbo after Cody left her in the lurch, it wouldn't hurt to have an extra chorus of rational voices in her corner, cheering her on and keeping her grounded. I caught a glimpse of Meri and Jen's Friday with Friends chat, and it's heartwarming, really. The guy's been a true gent, stepping up during Mary's migraine meltdowns, keeping her Yeti topped off, and even playing chef. These might be small gestures, but to Meri, they're uncharted territory in the care department. She's soaking in every moment, relishing the newfound attention. And hey, Jen's given the guy her seal of approval too, transparency and all. He's not chasing perfection, but he's miles away from Cody's territory, and that alone is a victory lap in itself. That's all from me today, everyone. Talk to you another time on another video. Peace out.